The acting director of ICE today defended the use of agents wearing masks during operations. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez is here with more on his conversation with Todd Lyons. Camilo, it's always so good to see you. So tell us about your exchange with him about the mask, and please remind us how we got to this point that these agents started wearing them to begin with.
Well, as you know, there have been growing tensions in some communities and ICE because of the aggressive tactics that the agency has employed to carry out President Trump's aggressive crackdown on illegal immigration. One of the sources of that growing tension is the use of masks by agents who are conducting the arrest of people who are suspected of being in the country illegally. And I asked Acting Director Todd Lyons in ICE why his agency is doing that and whether he's concerned that that could be a dangerous tactic because potentially people could pose as ICE agents. Sure. And this is what he told us.
I'm not a proponent of the masks. However, if that's a tool that the men and women of ICE to keep themselves and their families safe, then I'll allow it. I know a lot of elected officials have put forward legislation or proposed legislation about banning of the masks, things like that. I would also want elected officials to help us hold those people accountable that do dox or threat an ICE officer or agent or their family. I think that'd go a long way.
So you will continue to allow ICE officers to wear masks during operations?
I will.
As you just heard, the acting director is saying that this practice will continue because of concerns about officer safety. And we have been told by the Department of Homeland Security that attacks and assaults against ICE officers have increased by more than 800% this year from the same time in 2024.
So basically, they want to conceal their identities.
Because they're concerned about getting doxxed.
Got it. You also went on a ride-along with some of these ICE agents. Can you tell us what you saw?
That's right. We rode along with ICE agents in Maryland yesterday, and we saw different officers arrest suspected gang members and sex offenders who are also in the country illegally. These are the individuals that the president has promised to expel from the country, people who are here illegally, but also are posing a threat to public safety, according to ICE, because of criminal histories or other concerning derogatory information. However, now, as you know, the concern is that the administration's crackdown is extending well beyond those dangerous individuals and also encompassing people who are here illegally but lack any serious criminal record. And the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, told us that, yes, if ICE agents encounter anyone who is here illegally, irrespective of whether or not they have a criminal record, that person will be taken into custody now.
And then we're also learning that ICE will access personal data for Medicaid enrollees. Can you tell us about why, what they plan to do with this information?
Well, Director Lyons told us that this Medicaid information and information from other government databases will be used by ICE to locate and arrest people suspected of being in the country illegally, including people who have criminal histories in addition to that immigration violation. But there are a lot of concerns that this could deter immigrants, both those who are here legally and illegally, from accessing key government medical care. And it is really important to note that this is part of a broader effort by the administration to use agencies and resources from across the federal government to fulfill the president's promise of carrying out the largest deportation operation in American history.
Do they have any data to support, what they're alleging when it comes to, people using Medicaid fraudulently?
Well, according to the law, immigrants who are here illegally are not eligible for full Medicaid coverage. However, there is a provision in the Medicaid law that allows for anyone, regardless of immigration status, to access emergency care. So some undocumented immigrants do indirectly get assistance from that Medicaid fund when they have emergencies in a hospital, for example.
Got it. Thank you so much, Camilo, as always, for your reporting. You can see much more of Camilo's interview with the acting ICE director this Sunday on Face the Nation.